Don in London, hello. It's January the 8th, 2010. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My addictive substance, alcohol. My behaviour could be as addictive: work, relationships, collecting, materialism, looking right, trying to feel right, and never quite sure whether I've made it to that place of perfection. I guess I was striving for perfection and never realised that all I needed to do was strive to live one day at a time. So how did I get addicted to alcohol? Well, it's very easy really. The first drink did the damage all those years ago, and that first drink did something which I never expected. It improved my outlook. It made me feel convivial, joyful, happy, relaxed, sleepy, excited, sad, you name it. Any emotion seemed possible with the drink inside me. And that pattern, once established, that to take the edge off was a good idea. And in my day, when I was drinking, I found people who did exactly the same sort of behaviour. That is, to drink, to be happy. And then what happened? I became dependent. And as dependence became more and more of an obsession, addiction was staring me in the face. But the problem with anything that we feel we need to depend on, we don't see the addiction coming, and we don't see the dependence, particularly if we're not looking for it. Because if it's doing its job, medicating away the extremes or enabling extremes of behaviour, we tend to keep on doing something until it bites us in the backside. And for me, what happened? Simple. First drink did the damage, and then after a long time, dependence, and then finally addiction. So what was I addicted to? Well, maybe covering up the fear, finding out how to put a brave face on, and a very, very brittle ego covering up an emptiness inside which I just didn't understand, and not realising that emptiness sometimes is what we need, and we can fill it with good things, good life experiences, rather than life experiences based on what we think or ought to be doing. So much of my life, if you like, was about putting on a brave face, trying to be whatever I thought you wanted me to be, and whatever society thought was the right thing for me to be. So influenced, yes, definitely, by my external surroundings, trying to fill that gap inside, trying to be a part of, to be included in life, and never quite sure how to. So drink got me in the end, and work, and relationships, and materialism, and all of those things to extremes and out of balance. So always a neediness to be right, and never understanding it was okay just to find out how to be right on a daily basis. So the difference, I'd come out of the problem of alcoholism and addiction to behaviour, and trying to find what makes life work one day at a time. So what helped me along the path? Well, enough love and understanding from family, community, friends, and the understanding of professionals when I wasn't able to cope for myself. And that was when I was addicted. And it's an illness, emotional, physical. And that took a long time to admit, just that it was an illness, and that a lot of my behaviour was driven by something inside me which I could not control. That was simply addiction. So these days, I am in recovery one day at a time. And what helps me now? Still, family, community, friends. Being a part of, being included. So all the old things which I was looking for have always been there. It's just that I was striving for something which wasn't ever attainable. My expectations and what I imagined life ought to be. So now I'm in the day, trying to live life as it is, to make better choices, to be included, to be loved, loved back, and have something useful to do. And there's a fellowship which helps me immensely, helps me keep sober one day at a time, and that fellowship is AA. So I'm a part of AA because I say I am. It's the most open fellowship I've ever come across. Anybody can be in it, and I'll explain why in the AA preamble or statement of intent which I share here. and then some of the literature which helps me focus on being in the present moment and experiencing life as it is, not as I thought it ought or as I expected it should turn out. So AA, what is it? I'll share the preamble. It goes like this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. It does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And AA, the fellowship, has meetings all over the world. And I'm very lucky. There are 700 meetings in London every week. So I have much choice, and when my head's going a bit funny, that I don't understand life too well, in the moment of now, rather than go backwards into a problem, I look for a solution, and often I can hear from others what the solution may be. And last night I went to a meeting called After Eight, and it's for people, anyone really, but people who speak or share principally are over 8 years sober, and the person speaking last night was well over 40 years sober, continuous sobriety. And they shared about life, expectations and imaginings. So sometimes when we have large expectations or great imaginings about life, we've lost touch with reality. And what they did was share that they needed to come down to earth with a bump, that they needed to acknowledge the feelings they had and the emotions that were going on in order that they may solve their problem on a daily basis. And part of that is to understand that every emotion is important and every feeling is important, that they're there for a reason. And the reason is to inform us of something that is going on which helps us be happy or is causing us sadness. And not to push it away, it's to experience and understand what is going on. So, great news for me. Look at my expectations on a daily basis. Start at 0, often is a good scorecard 0, and see where it goes. So, I just need a sip of coffee actually. I keep on learning what is good for me, simply by going to meetings, and when I can't, I refer to books or literature like this one, Daily Reflections. And this one's all about the 12 steps of the programme. It covers one a month, and January is step 1, all about powerless over alcohol, and life is unmanageable when we drink. And it says here for January the 8th, do I have a choice? The fact is, most alcoholics, for reasons yet obscure, have lost the power of choice over drink. Our so-called willpower becomes practically non-existent. My powerlessness over alcohol does not cease when I quit drinking. In sobriety, I still have no choice. I can't drink. The choice I do have is to pick up and use the kit of spiritual tools, that's to live in the moment of now, or just to cope with life as it is. When I do that, my higher power relieves me of my lack of choice and keeps me sober one more day. If I could choose not to pick up a drink today, where then would be my need for AA or a higher power? I'll just read that again. If I could choose not to pick up a drink today, where then would be my need for AA or a higher power? And the answer is, for me, I do need AA, the fellowship, because it's good. It gives me experience, strength and hope and wisdom. And my higher power is really to truth, the universal truth of everything, which to me is God. So whether we believe in God or we are agnostic or atheist, depending on our life experience, the serenity prayer helps on a daily basis, a meditation to acceptance. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, so we have choices, and the wisdom to know the difference, for me, is just for today.